and welcome to today's video. We're gonna do a brow routine using the new Morphe brow products. They've recently launched a brow pencil and a brow gel. I picked up both, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right on in, so let's go. The brow pencil is actually a nano sized pencil, which is a very small tip to create hair-like strokes. And as I said before, I did order mine from Ulta and it comes in 6 options for $11. I chose the shade called Latte, which is described as a soft brown with cool undertones. I do have a brow pencil that's a little bit thicker than this from Morphe in a deeper shade, and it does run quite dark. So I decided to try a lighter shade, so one shade down from what I thought I would be. So this is the Latte shade. And I also really like the packaging. It's a nice, simple component. It's white. I will show you some up-close shots of the product, but the actual magic here is that the tip of this is extremely small, very tiny, very precise to give you hair-like strokes. So this is perfect for someone who just wants to fill in specific areas, for someone who wants the fill-in to look more like actual brow hairs. As you can see, I have nothing through my brows, and I have some areas with sparseness and areas where there's no hair growth, and they do need assistance and fill-in every single day because this is just unacceptable for me. So I'm gonna try this out today, and I hope that I can actually get my full brow routine complete with just this because it is rather small. I typically like to use a little bit of a thicker pencil, but the smaller size may be fine, and it's a pin thin is what it says the tip size is. So it's really, really tiny. So it says finely fill and detail brows with the Morphe Nano Brow Pencil. The small tip applies tiny strokes that are precise so no one will believe they aren't your natural brow hairs. All day formula goes on smoothly and blends with a spoolie effortlessly to enhance sparse areas. So it all sounds good. The spoolie, as most brow pencils, is on the opposite end, which is a thin, very small little detail there, which is great to have. So let's start with the brow spoolie side. I'm gonna give my brows just a good comb over really quickly, get the front section, go up and over. And so typically for me, what I like to do is put my clear brow gel first and let that sit for a few moments before I fill them in. I like that lamination effect, but I do know that a lot of people like to do the pencil part first and gel last. So we're gonna do both options today. So I'm gonna start by putting the clear brow gel, which is called the Micro Manager Brow Gel. And I'm gonna do that on my left brow and let that hang out while I do the fill-in portion on the right side. So I'm gonna comb up and over. It's a very tiny, very precise spoolie. It is very, very small, so it can get right into specific areas. I feel like the spoolie itself is not overloaded with product either. It doesn't seem to feel thick, goopy, or gloppy when it goes on, and when you pull this out, it comes out quite clean as well. So the stopper that's on the inside mechanism actually does a really good job at wiping off excess brow gel, which is great. All good things so far. So we're gonna let that dry, and in the meantime, we're gonna start filling in this right side with the Latte shade. And what I'm gonna do is create hair-like strokes going in an upward motion from the base of my brow up towards the very tip edge right here. And I'm going to focus on just doing singular little movements like that with the pencil to create the effect of hair. Now, this could be very simple and easy, pretty straightforward for someone who wants to just spot fill in. But for someone who wants to fill in an entire brow, or maybe you don't have enough hair or you don't have any at all, that's totally okay. This is gonna take you just a little bit longer to do, but it can be done. And the Latte shade is described as a cool color or undertone. And I do feel like that, I don't know, to me it leans just slightly more on the warm side, or maybe it's just the lights. I did get some new lights, some tube lights behind me. And so we're gonna adjust the lighting as I get used to using those. And maybe it's the lighting that kind of is tricking my eyes because it is a little bit different. But I'm gonna use this to fill in as much as I can. And what I like about this very small tip is that it can get right in through here where I have a bald spot. I don't have a hair that goes there. And then right in through here, I feel like I could use a little bit more of a fill-in. So I went back in and I filled in just a little bit more and deepened the brow just a bit so that I can get a fuller effect. Something that I personally like to do. I like to have a more filled in brow, and I think it did a nice job. I feel like the formula itself transferred nicely from the pencil onto my skin. I just only have skincare on right now, so it's a very easy color to see and transfer, and I will do some swatches. Actually, let me roll it up first so you can get a description of the color. And as you can see there, I did just break the very tip. So lesson learned here, you don't want to roll this up too much, so you will have to roll it up a little bit maybe in between the fill-ins, kind of check the tip of it to see if you still have any, because otherwise, if you did what I did, it's gonna break off. But that's any pencil, so I can't knock the points off of this one for that. And that is the very thin hair-like stroke. So I think it's a very well done pencil, and I like the color. I think it's doable. Now the last thing that I need to do on this side is actually put in the clear brow gel. So this is the Micromanager gel that I used earlier on the left side. This gel retails for $12. There's only one option right now, which is clear. And maybe if this sells well and does well for the brand, they may actually launch it in different shades that are tinted, which some people like tinted brow gels. I like to have a mixture of clear and tinted ones in my collection. So I like that they launched this. It says this 16-hour extreme hold gel tames with a specially designed micro gripping brush that lifts and sculpts while evenly distributing products so no unruly hair is out of place. I do happen to think that the brush itself is really well done, and it's small, it's precise, as I stated earlier. So now let's go ahead and apply this over the brow product. And let's hope that it does last 16 hours. I mean, I'm not going to monitor this for 16 full hours, but I will wear it and kind of check on it and just kind of see, out of curiosity, if this is actually going to last 16 hours, because that sounds like a very bold claim, doesn't it? So I'm just gonna go up like this, and then when I get to this region here, I'm gonna comb it over, and then the tail, I'm gonna comb it down. And then there is the pencil with the gel. What do you think? Now that the gel has had sufficient time to dry on my left side, let's go ahead and see if we can actually get this pencil to show up over this gel. And just touching over this, it does feel slightly sticky, but not to the point where I feel like my fingers stuck to it or that it feels just weird. I feel like the stickiness is just maybe the actual hold being really intense, and it did say extreme hold, so maybe that's exactly what it is, but it does feel like I did put something to the brows. Not a bad thing. It doesn't look like it's heavy. It honestly feels like it's taming the brows and keeping them in place. So again, it's doing exactly what it's marketing to do. And I'm going to pay attention to the tip this time and not roll it up as much and get a little bit going there so we can actually see if this fills in. So let's try to fill in this side over the gel. And I am seeing a little bit transferring and showing up, as you can see there, but it is a little bit more challenging to get this formula to show up over the clear gel because it's so intense and it has that extreme hold that I feel like the formula itself is not allowing me to place product over it. So maybe this is just better to do it as I did on this side, pencil first and then brow gel, which is what I've done for years. It wasn't until a few months back that I decided to switch things up, do my brow gel first, let that sit, and then go back in and fill with a pencil. I typically use brow pens anyways, and those are generally easier to apply over a gel. So this is not a bad thing. This is just gonna take a little bit more work. So let's see how much I can fill in just with this pencil. Here is the brow that we did the gel first, then the pencil. I did take some time to fill this in, and it did take me a little bit longer, as I said earlier. It's going to be a little bit more of a detailed process if you let that gel dry first versus doing the pencil and then the gel. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do. I don't mind it. I feel like it did a nice job. I think I like the tone of Latte better from this pencil than the previous Morphe pencil that I tried when I did a Morphe One brand video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it for you. It's a video using all of the Morphe brand makeup products, giving you a detailed review on each product and what I think is actually worth trying and buying. And that video was like a full in-depth breaking down every single category of Morphe, so check it out. I think it would be helpful if you're interested in their products. But back to the pencil, I do like it. I like the side that I honestly feel like I like this side, even though it took me just a little bit longer. I don't know, I just feel like having the brows laid down first, kind of tamed and basically laminated essentially down first, allows me to see where my gaps and sparseness really lies so that I can go in and fill in and pinpoint exactly those areas versus trying to fill in a brow and create a shape when the hair is just going all over the place. So I'm so used to that method that I think going forward, I'm gonna do the gel first, then the pencil. But I do think both products are really nice. I think it transferred nicely to the pencil. It's It's a very small size, nice detail size. So even if you don't use a pencil this small for your full routine, it's good to have something like this in your collection for those moments where you want to kind of fill in a spot specifically. That nano size tip is ideal for that. And then you can always use a brow gel, and having one that's actually going to hold, I think anybody's going to be happy with that. You don't buy a gel and then it not hold or do anything, because then what's the point, right? So this does have quite a bit of hold. And from where I'm sitting, I actually like their brow products. I think they did a nice job. I hope that this review was helpful seeing those new products from Morphe. I do think that they did a nice job at creating a good formula for the brow pencil and the brow gel. And after doing my whole routine and coming back several minutes later, I do feel like I can still feel the hold in the brows. And I feel like they're gonna stay in place just fine. I feel like this side though, the side that I put the gel first, then pencil, I feel like that just feels a little bit more substantial than this side that I did the pencil and then the brow gel. So I think I'm gonna go with this routine, gel first, then pencil, but that's personal preference. And I just wanted to sit down and share with you my thoughts. If you were interested in these products, they're really well priced as well, easily accessible online at Ulta.com or even in Ulta stores too. So anyways, like I said, I hope that this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. What are your thoughts of the products? Have you tried yet? Thanks for being here, for watching today's video, spending some of your day with me. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I post every Tuesday and every Friday. You can also follow me on social media. And as always, the links to everything is down below. Take care, you guys, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.